Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Well, I've been working on the 16-inch Monarch lathe this week, just doing some little odds and ends on it as I had some time in the evenings after work. And anyway, I got a collection of things, some video that we shot I'm gonna put together, kind of bring you up to speed on where we are on the Monarch lathe restoration. I got my handles here installed, my control handles. We got the top put back on here. We've got it filled back up with oil. We took care of replacing some sight glasses in here, and just some miscellaneous things. So anyway, let's get to it and show you what we did. So before I get too deep into this, I thought I'd show you this process I'm doing. So these are the handles, or two of the handles that go on the speed control on the lathe. And I debated on how I wanted these to look. If I wanted to paint them the same color green as the machine, or paint them a contrasting color. And what I think I've decided I want to do is just kind of polish this metal, kind of like this here. And I'll put a clear lacquer finish on it to kind of hopefully keep it from tarnishing too bad. But I think that's going to look really nice on the front of it. But you know, this is one I've already got cleaned up, but this is what I'm starting with. This is what's on there. You can tell they're dirty, they're grimy, they're full of crud. They got paint on them, they're rusty, etc., etc. So I thought I'd show you the process of taking one of these apart, cleaning it up, and getting it like this. So this is a two-piece assembly, and there's a roll pin that goes down through the middle of this that basically this hinges on, and there's a spring that kind of holds down here in the bottom that holds this little cog in up here in the front. So we're going to start by knocking that roll pin out. I've just got a little bench block here. This is a handy little device when you got to knock a pin or something out. I'm just going to take a punch here, a drive punch. It fits down in that hole, and we'll just drive that pin out. You can see the pin coming out there, and that last little bit, I'll just, there we go. Pull that out. This now comes apart, and you can see the spring in there. So I'm going to take these apart. We'll take them over to the parts washer. I won't show you that, but we'll get them all cleaned up, and then go over to my wheel and do some polishing. So now I'm over here at the wheel, and first thing I'm going to do is use a wire wheel, and we're just going to get this thing cleaned up. This will strip off any old paint, take it down to just bare metal, and basically we're just cleaning it up. Like I said, you know, I'm not trying to take too much off of this, but I am trying to get it clean. All right, so once that's clean, now we're going to come over here and polish it. And to use that, I'm going to use this Scotch-Brite wheel. This is basically just a Scotch-Brite product, and you can see it just it really polishes it up. I know someone's going to ask. I'm not sure what grade this is. They come in different. It's a gray wheel, so I know they're usually colored different based on how abrasive they are. There's still some paint down there. Knock that off. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly hit the sides too while I'm at it. It'll make that fit and finish a little bit better. Well, there you go. You can see we got a nice polished finish on there now, and I'm happy with that. We'll go to the next piece. Same thing, we'll start out over on the wire wheel, just getting it stripped down. And then again, over to the Scotch-Brite wheel to polish it up. last, we'll get the stem of the handle here cleaned up as well. We're ready to put this back together, so we'll start by getting our little spring down there. Got a little hole here that fits down into, and make sure they're lined up. There we go. And next, I'm just kind of eyeballing down through there to kind of get that lined up as good as I can. And we'll take our drive pin and let's see, I think this one will work. That pin goes down a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch. That's good. And you can see you got that little spring action in there. And we'll install our handle. I think I'm going to get some Loctite and just put some Loctite down there to kind of hold these together. I don't have any in the shop right now. There's some out at the museum in my toolbox out there I need to grab. And I'll probably do that tomorrow before I glue these back together, or not glue them back together, but before I spray them with the clear sealer. Very good. So got those two done. So here's the outer handle. There's actually 2 handles on each knob, and you adjust them back and forth, but this is the second one here, and let's see if we can figure out how to get it apart so that we can do the same process on it. Let's see. There we go. All right, make sure I'm paying attention to how I'm taking this apart. So there are the one hole in the bottom goes on the bottom. And it'll only go in there one way anyway, so that's good. And all right, let me go clean these up. I'll take them to the grinder and get them cleaned up, and we'll come put them back together. Before I do, I want to pull all this stuff apart like we did before. So there's a roll pin down through there. I'm going to drive that one out. Let's try this. There we go. And we got to get the handle out here. I'm gonna have to get a wrench or something on there. That's on there pretty tight. Or I'll tell you what, I may just leave it on there. I think I can clean it up without even taking it off. We'll do that. We'll take the knob off. All right, let me go clean this up in the parts washer. We'll take it over to the wire wheel and the Scotch-Brite wheel. I'll do that off camera and we'll bring it back. Okay, things are cleaned up and we're ready to put things back together. So first thing is get the handle back in here. there's a little spring and there's a little detent in the back here that holds that spring in there. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll come in this way so it won't pop out. There we go. We try to get that lined up, and we'll put our roll pin back in here. That's good. This piece comes in the back like such. And then this little dog plate goes on the top. And there's 2 pins that will drive down through there. Just use a little piece of brass here. All right, so now you see, pull this handle back and it will allow you to shift that between those 2 little detents, and the other handle that we did will actually go on the front. So anyway, that one's done. And just to give you an idea of what it looks like to start with, there's its twin. We'll get that one done off camera. I'll shoot all this stuff with some sealer, some clear to just protect those metal finishes, and we'll get them installed on the machine. So we're going to start putting our control levers back on here, and the first one to go on is going to be this one in the back here. And I'm not sure if my hole is going to line up. Let me get all right. I think we can drive that pin in here now. Of course, I nicked the paint a little bit right there, but I can clean that up later. So, all right, that's got that handle there. Okay, next we'll put on one of these handles, and if you look, there's 3 holes here for bolts that hold this in place, but there's also 2 pins, and these pins are in there basically for alignment. So what we've got to do here is get the splines lined up. There we go. And I'm gonna get a little, find my dead blow. I'm just using a dead blow. We're just kind of driving those back in there, and we'll get those lined up. And let me see if I can get this engaged. There we go. That's in one of the slots. That spring tension isn't as powerful as I'd like for it to be, but I think it'll be all right. All right, that one is in place. Next thing we need to do is put these 3 screws back in here, and these just help hold things in place. And with that on, next we will put the front piece on. Now there is a hole that goes through here, and there is a just another pin, spring pin that goes through here, and we will put this on. All right, that should be lined up. Take my hammer and we'll start tapping this in. Punch and drive it in until it's centered up. That should do it right there. So we should have that control. It's all back together. Looks good. Not happy about that spring though. We're going to go with it for now. I may have to take this back off and put a stronger spring in there because it just isn't pushing that back tight like I like. But anyway, let's get the other one on. It goes on exactly the same way. Now, that's starting to look more like the front of a lathe. I kind of like the way that polished metal looks on the front. I'm pretty happy with that, so everything looks good. I'm going to have to get a pin to go through here, a spring pin. I remembered when I knocked the one out in there, it was broken, and although I have an assortment of spring pins, I don't have one that size, so I'll pick one up tomorrow in town and get that put in, but that should be easy enough. So, making progress. Well, as I was editing my video, I realized I had lost audio on a couple of clips, so I'm going back and kind of talking about what we were talking about there, and I'll probably overlay some of my audio or video in there of the actual shooting of this. But what I want to talk about is these sight glasses here. There's actually two, one on the front and one on the back. The one on the front here just has an indicator. There's a little pipe in the back that the oil pumps through, and it'll drip down through here, and you can basically see the oil pumping in there, so you know you have oil and you know that it's circulating in the machine. In the back, there's a little window, it's down lower, and it actually is for filling the oil in there, and it has an oil fill line in it. Now, that was the sight glass that was on the lathe when I got it. You can't even see through the glass. Looks like it's been painted over, it's just glazed over. I mean, you can barely see in there, but really not. So I did a little bit of research, and I was able to find some brand new ones, as you can see right there. And they're actually made by Bajor Demelin. I guess that's how you say that. But anyway, I found them online. I did a little bit of research, found out Monarch used these. They're still in business, still make the exact same ones that came out of here. In fact, here's a spare one that I got in my hand, and you can see the backs are exactly the same. But I was able to find this on the internet. Couldn't order them from McMaster-Carr. That's where I normally get stuff like this. They didn't carry this particular brand, but found out that from their website that we had a distributor here in town that handled them, Bearings and Drives is a dealer for these guys. So I just popped in out there one day, carried the sheet in there, and like, yeah, no problem, we'll order those for you. And you know, these things they're about 20 bucks a piece, and I got this one plus one on the back that has the fill line on it, and then I got an extra one that will go into the apron later on. But anyway, to install these, basically just kind of, you know, first we knocked the old one out, then we came in here, cleaned it up real good. I put just a little layer of silicone around it, which is something I found recommended. And then I just took my little dead blow hammer, kind of got it started, and then we took a block of wood right here. It's the same diameter, and I was able to just drive it in the rest of the way. And installation went really easy. Had to knock out the piece on the back side. We just took a rod and just kind of went all the way down through the headstock, and I was able to get access to it. Took a hammer, took about a couple pops on it, and the old one just popped right out. And same process to install the new one on the back. And anyway, these look really nice. They're nice and clean, and fresh, and we should be able to see our oil in here just fine. Now it's time to fill her up with oil. I got my oil here. According to the book, it's going to take about 3.5 gallons. I'm on the back side where I can kind of watch my sight glass. And we're just going to come in here and chug-a-lug-lug. This is a Mobil Vactra heavy medium oil. I was able to get it from an oil supplier locally. All right, it's coming up on the oil gauge right now. And that is pretty darn close to the full line, so we're gonna stop right there. And I don't know, that feels about like 1.5 gallons left in there, so should be pretty good. Time to come in here and put the lid back on this thing. So, all right, I get those holes lined up. There it goes. Putting some new cap screws in here. The old ones were just full of crud, and 2 of them weren't the right kind. So I just got 6 new ones, and we'll start fresh with them. All right, that is all buttoned up. Well, once again, I'm running out of time to get a video out to you guys, so that's pretty much gonna be a wrap for this episode, but the lathe is coming along nice. I'm very happy with how it's looking, how things are going together. Still got a couple of handles and controls I need to get on down here. I gotta get those cleaned up, shot with some lacquer and reinstalled. We'll do that later on. And also on the front of the gearbox here, we've got a little broken piece in here that we're going to have to work on, and I'm hoping maybe over the weekend I'll have a chance. It's going to require some brazing and some straightening and some other things to go on with that, and I need to get it out and study it and make sure I got everything I need to do it, but hopefully we can get that done and get this end buttoned up. We need to get the rack back installed, and next big thing after that will be to get onto the apron and the saddle and start getting those ready. The saddle's got to be scraped. We've already got the turkite and everything installed in it, but it's got to be scraped to go on here, but making progress, moving in the right direction. So with that, that'll be a wrap. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time around.